Some of these British aircraft became legends. Others were forgotten before the war even ended. Today, we're revealing every single one that flew in World War II. Let's begin with biplane fighter, Gloucester Gladiator, a tough biplane. It was one of the last of its kind, serving with distinction during the early years of the war, especially over Malta and in the desert. A genuine classic. Then Gloucester Gauntlet, already obsolete by 1939. This biplane mostly served as an advanced trainer or in secondary roles, a useful workhorse for preparing future fighter pilots. Moving on to monoplane fighters, Hawker Hurricane, the true backbone of the Battle of Britain. While the Spitfire got the glamour, this tough, reliable fighter accounted for the majority of German kills in 1940. Easy to repair and incredibly robust, Supermarine Spitfire, Griffon-powered variants. These were the late-war superb fighters, equipped with the powerful 2,000 horsepower Griffon engine. They could fly higher and faster than any previous version, ensuring the Spitfire remained competitive right until the end. Westland Whirlwind, a promising design that was unfortunately hampered by engine development issues. Its 420mm cannons made it a devastating ground attack platform when it did see service. Truly advanced for its time. Up next, Bolton Pool Defiant, a revolutionary but flawed concept. Its main armament was concentrated in a dorsal turret. While a failure in daytime fighting, it did achieve some success as a dedicated night fighter early in the Blitz. Continuing with late war high performance in jet fighters, Hawker Typhoon, initially designed as a high altitude interceptor, it found its true calling as a devastating low-level fighter bomber. Armed with rockets and cannons, it tore apart German armor on the Western Front. A massive brute of a machine. The next one, Hawker Tempest, widely regarded as one of the fastest piston engine fighters of the war. Its superb performance allowed it to effectively counter the German V-1 flying bomb menace later in the conflict. Truly exceptional speed, Gloucester Meteor, Britain's only jet aircraft to achieve operational status during the Second World War. Although it arrived too late to seriously influence the outcome, it signalled a monumental shift in air warfare technology. Next up, heavy fighters and night fighters. Bristol Beaufighter, nicknamed the Whispering Death. This heavy, rugged twin-engine aircraft excelled as a night fighter, torpedo bomber, and anti-shipping strike aircraft. Its versatility was legendary. De Havilland Mosquito fighter variants, the incredible wooden wonder. These fighter versions utilized their speed to evade interception, serving as highly effective night fighters and pathfinders throughout the war. Nothing else was quite like it. Hawker Hurricane 100 night fighter conversions. These adapted Hurricanes were equipped with A1 or air interception radar. They were crucial in defending Britain against the devastating nighttime attacks of the Blitz, a vital conversion. De Havilland Hornet, one of the fastest propeller-driven aircraft ever made. Though it barely missed seeing combat, it was developed during the war as a long-range fighter, showcasing incredible performance. Next up, Fleet Air Arm fighters. Blackburn's Skua, an early Fleet Air Arm attempt at a carrier-borne fighter-dive bomber combination. It achieved the distinction of being the first British aircraft to shoot down a German plane in the Second World War. Blackburn Rock, a carrier version of the flawed turret fighter concept. It suffered from poor performance and was quickly relegated to secondary duties, proving that defensive turrets did not work well on fast fighters. Fairey Fulmar, a two-seat naval fighter adapted from the Fairey battle structure. While somewhat slow, its endurance made it useful for long-range patrols over the sea. Then, Fairey Firefly. This two-seat carrier fighter became essential in the Pacific Theatre. Renowned for its long range and powerful armament, it saw extensive action against the Japanese in the final stages of the conflict. Then, Hawker Sea Hurricane, the navalized version of the ubiquitous fighter. It proved invaluable, especially when launched from CAM ships, catapult aircraft merchantmen, providing vital aerial cover for convoys in the Atlantic. Supermarine Seafire, essentially a navalized Spitfire. While it provided superior speed and agility, the narrow landing gear made taking off and landing on carriers a notoriously difficult and unforgiving business for the pilot. Up next, Grumman Martlet Wildcat. The British name for the American Wildcat fighter, this rugged, compact aircraft was critical to the Fleet Air Arm in the Atlantic and Mediterranean before Hellcats arrived, a tough little machine. Grumman Hellcat, the American successor to the Wildcat. This powerful fighter became the dominant combat aircraft aboard British carriers, particularly during operations against the Japanese in the Pacific. The next one, Vought Corsair, known for its distinctive inverted gull wings. British pilots mastered the tricky carrier landing techniques that initially challenged the US Navy, making it a powerful tool for the Fleet Air Arm. Blackburn Firebrand, a heavily armed single-seat strike fighter designed late in the war. Although it missed major action, its development showcased Britain's commitment to large, powerful naval strike aircraft. Continuing with Fleet Air Arm torpedo and dive bombers, Fairey Swordfish, the slow, obsolete biplane that achieved some of the most spectacular successes of the war. Its torpedoes famously crippled the Italian fleet at Taranto and the German battleship Bismarck. Truly legendary. Now this is the Fairey Albacore. Designed as a successor to the Swordfish, this biplane offered marginal improvements. It served alongside its predecessor, mostly operating as a torpedo bomber and mine layer in the Mediterranean. Now, this is the Fairey Barracuda, Britain's first monoplane torpedo bomber. It achieved notoriety by crippling the mighty German battleship Tirpitz during Operation Tungsten in 1944. A significant technological step forward. Now let's look at light and medium bombers. Fairey Battle. This aircraft suffered devastating losses during the Battle of France in 1940. It quickly proved too slow and lightly armed for the modern battlefield, transitioning mostly into training roles thereafter. Then Bristol Blenheim, a fast, modern light bomber at the start of the war. It saw extensive, courageous service in the early European campaigns, though vulnerability issues soon led to its replacement in frontline roles. Then Vickers Wellington, the beloved Winnie. Its unique, strong geodetic structure allowed it to absorb incredible punishment. It formed the backbone of Bomber Command during the crucial early phase of the night bombing offensive. Armstrong Whitworth Whitley, a mainstay of early Bomber Command operations. It was a rugged medium bomber, later adapting to pathfinding and clandestine supply drops thanks to its range and reliable performance. Handley Page Hampton, nicknamed the Flying Panhandle due to its very narrow fuselage. This medium bomber was fast, but crews hated its cramped conditions, seeing extensive service early in the bombing campaign. Avro Manchester, a transitional aircraft famous for its persistent engine trouble. Despite its mechanical woes, its basic airframe design was ultimately refined into the legendary 4-engine Lancaster. Then Bristol Buckingham, designed as a fast-medium bomber to replace the Blenheim. It arrived too late for frontline bomber use, and was instead converted almost entirely for high-speed transport duties. Next on the list is heavy bombers. Short Stirling, the RAF's first true 4-engine heavy bomber. Despite its limited ceiling, it carried massive payloads and served with distinction, often spearheading bombing raids before being reassigned to transport roles. Handley Page Halifax, a powerful and crucial heavy bomber, serving as a pillar of Bomber Command alongside the Lancaster. It was highly versatile, eventually becoming favoured for transport and special operations roles as well. Avro Lancaster without question, the most famous and successful British heavy bomber. Known for its huge bomb bay and incredible resilience, it executed the most celebrated raids, including the famous Dam Busters mission. Continuing with seaplanes and flying boats, Short Sunderland, known as the Flying Porcupine by the Germans due to its heavy defensive armament. This massive flying boat provided crucial anti-submarine and reconnaissance patrols over the Atlantic. Supermarine Walrus, an ungainly pusher-propeller amphibious biplane. It was often launched from warships via catapult, performing naval spotting, reconnaissance, and crucial air-sea rescue missions. Up next, Supermarine Sea Otter, a slightly larger, more powerful successor to the Walrus. This amphibious aircraft continued the vital work of naval spotting and search and rescue in the later stages of the war. Supermarine Stranraer, an obsolete biplane flying boat relegated to training and coastal patrol duties early in the war. It was a reminder of the RAF's rapid transition from biplanes to monoplanes. Saro London, this large, reliable biplane flying boat, served initially on reconnaissance and patrol missions before being quickly replaced by the superior monoplane designs like the Sunderland. Consolidated Catalina, Lend-Lease, a vital Lend-Lease flying boat. Known for its incredible range and endurance, the Cat proved indispensable for long-duration anti-submarine patrols over the vastness of the Atlantic Ocean. Next on the list is land-based reconnaissance and army co-op. Westland Lysander, this short takeoff and landing liaison aircraft, became famous for its dangerous clandestine missions. It slipped agents in and out of occupied Europe under the cover of darkness. Taylorcraft Oster, the British equivalent of the US Army's Grasshopper. This tiny, high-winged aircraft was used for artillery spotting and battlefield reconnaissance right across the Western Front. Percival Proctor, a reliable three-seat communications and radio training aircraft. It was widely used by the Royal Air Force to teach navigation and general flying skills throughout the conflict. Westland Wallace, a venerable pre-war general-purpose biplane used extensively for training and secondary duties. It was already a veteran of the RAF by the time the war began. Moving on to transport and general purpose. Bristol Bombay, primarily used as a troop transport, especially in the Middle East and Africa. This reliable machine provided vital logistical support and occasional light bombing capability. Handley Page Harrow, an obsolescent heavy bomber that quickly found its true niche as a dependable transport aircraft. It moved cargo and personnel throughout the global theatres of operation. Armstrong Whitworth Albemarle, originally designed as a medium bomber, found its ultimate purpose as a highly successful troop transport and crucial glider tug, notably during the D-Day landings. Avro York, a successful transport aircraft derived directly from the famous Lancaster bomber design. Its rugged reliability made it essential for carrying high-ranking officials and vital supplies across the globe. Now this is the Vickers Warwick, designed as a heavy bomber replacement. It was never used in that role. Instead, it became invaluable as a long-range air-sea rescue, transport, and coastal patrol aircraft. Airspeed Consul, a post-war civilian conversion, but the basic design served extensively during the war. It was used for high-speed communications and general transport duties. Let's move on to trainers and target tugs. De Havilland Tiger Moth, the quintessential primary trainer aircraft. Thousands of Commonwealth pilots first learned to fly on this reliable, robust biplane. An absolute cornerstone of pilot production. The next one, Miles Magister, designed to eventually replace the Tiger Moth as the primary trainer. Its enclosed cockpit and more modern handling prepared pilots for the faster monoplane fighters. Miles Master, the crucial link between basic training and frontline fighters like the Hurricane. This high-performance machine taught cadets how to handle fast retractable gear monoplanes. Miles Martinet, derived from the Master Trainer. This specialist aircraft towed aerial targets for live fire practice, a necessary but dangerous job for improving anti-aircraft gunnery skills. Airspeed Oxford, a highly successful twin-engine trainer that taught everything from navigation and bombing to radio operation. It was vital for training future multi-engine crew members. Avro Anson, known as the Faithful Annie. This versatile twin-engine aircraft served simultaneously as a coastal reconnaissance machine and a comprehensive multi-engine trainer throughout the entire war. De Havilland Dominique. This small, elegant biplane was primarily used for communications, ferrying personnel, and providing advanced radio navigation training within the RAF. De Havilland DH-82 Queen Bee, a radio-controlled version of the Tiger Moth. These drones provided realistic moving targets for both anti-aircraft gunners and fighter pilots during crucial combat training exercises. Percival Prentice, designed during the conflict, this three-seat primary trainer provided excellent visibility and stability, aiming to offer better handling characteristics than earlier training types. Miles Gemini, a small twin-engine communications and light transport aircraft. It provided rapid movement for essential personnel across various airfields during the later war years. Finally, we have gliders. Airspeed Horsa, the RAF's primary troop-carrying glider. It carried up to 30 troops or heavy equipment, playing a crucial, silent role in major operations like D-Day and Arnhem. Now this is the General Aircraft Hamilcar. This huge glider was designed specifically to carry heavy vehicles, including tanks and self-propelled guns, straight onto the battlefield. A logistical marvel of its time. General Aircraft Hotspur, initially intended as a small 8-man assault glider, it was quickly relegated to purely training duties, preparing pilots for the larger, more complex operational gliders. Slingsby Hengist, a specialized training glider used to give initial towing and landing experience to the pilots who would eventually fly the massive operational assault gliders.